Hi. Are you curious to learn not only what the tapping points in EFT are, but also why we're tapping on our body? Well, today I'm going to walk you through both. And to be clear, for tapping or emotional freedom techniques, EFT, to work, you don't need to know what the points are for and what they are at all. That's one of the beautiful things about this technique. It's super simple. You just need to follow along and it works. However, especially when we're doing something new and something that might look and feel pretty strange, like tapping all over our body, which is not something we ordinarily do, then the mind's first response is often to get really skeptical. And one of the things that dispels skepticism is understanding and clarity. So I'm going to both show you the points and also tell you a little bit about what some of the points are. I study Chinese medicine and acupressure, and I find it fascinating. And then you can also use the points when you're having some of the issues that I'll be describing, and not just when you're doing EFT if you want to. And before we get started, I invite you to make sure you have some water and also some tissues available. That's a good thing to have for every EFT session. And one of the whys of that is that we're tapping on meridian points. Meridians are lines or conduits of energy in traditional Chinese medicine. And there are points along those meridians that conduct the energy. So one of the reasons we tap on those points is to unblock our energy and unblock our emotions that might have gotten stuck through injury or wounds or limiting beliefs, coping strategies. And that's kind of what keeps our patterns locked in. And so when we're releasing that blocked energy, we're releasing toxins in our body the same way we might with a massage or with acupuncture. So that's the why of the water. And then as we do that, we might cry to release emotions. That's the why of the tissues. And so let's get started. I invite you first to maybe close your eyes for a minute and feel into your emotions, your body, your mind activity, thoughts. And just notice what your internal landscape is like in this moment. We're going to do one round of points and then you're going to check back in. Perfect. So when you're ready, opening your eyes, the first point is the side of the hand, also called karate chop. This is a small intestine point. And the meridians are all associated with an organ. It doesn't necessarily impact the organ itself. The meridian has lots of qualities. And with the small intestine, one of them is helping with mental clarity, discernment. And so that's one of the reasons this is used as our setup point to set up what we're looking at. And I'll walk you through a session in the next video. Right now, I'm just exploring the points. The next are on the head. So often it's just the top of the head, but there are actually 4 meridians that run along the head and there are points all through the head. So I like using both hands. You can make sure you get the center and then on both sides, all the way to the base of the skull. And the top of the head and the base of the skull are where there are the most points. Personally, I find a lot of relief right here. And the next point is kind of the start of the eyebrows, right inside here. Because it's so narrow, it's good to use just one finger, or I like to use just one finger. You could use 2, and you could just do on one side, but all the meridians except for the central one run along both sides of the body. And this one is good for headaches. It's a bladder meridian point. It's also good for dispelling restlessness. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth, making a little sighing sound. That also helps move energy, as does movement. And then the next point is on the outside of the eyes. This is a gallbladder meridian point. And emotionally, this can be really good for irritation, frustration, relieving that. The next point is right below the eyes on the bony ridge right here. This is a stomach meridian point. And all the points are good for many things. So I'm focusing on the emotional component mostly. And this one is good for releasing worry. And then the next one is just above the lips. This is a governing vessel point. And this is really good for bringing people back to consciousness, for depression, anxiety, a lot of psychological imbalances. And then the one below is right below the lips. And I actually like to do these together. This is the conception vessel, the governing vessel. And this balances the body centrally through the back. This one balances it centrally through the front. So we're kind of balancing front and back when we do them both together. And let's take another deep breath. Sighing sound. And then under the collarbone, so you go to the inside of the collarbone, and then there's a little notch right underneath there. This is the end of the kidney meridian. Can be really good for panic attacks, also respiratory issues. And the next point is the middle of the sternum. And this one is often skipped, but I really like it. Its Chinese name is Sea of Tranquility. It's a really nice calming point. And then the next one, I'll stand up to show you, is right along the ridge of the ribs. And we're getting at liver point and also a spleen meridian point. And liver is associated with anger. This can be good, especially if there's repressed anger, for a number of other things, also depression. And the next one is the side of the body right here under the armpit. You can do one side, then the other. You can do both sides together. This is a really nourishing point. It's a spleen bladder point. And so I like giving myself a hug. And finally, that's the inside of the wrist. You can just use the side of the wrist. Some people do it like this to get both wrists together. The points we're getting at, which are the source points or the really nourishing points of the 3 yin meridians, are in line with the thumb, the middle finger, the little finger, the lung meridian, pericardium, and heart. So you can also do it like this. And the 3 yang meridians run along the outside of the hand, so you can do the inside and the outside, other wrist. Deep breath. And check in and see if anything has shifted. Sometimes there's tingling, you might feel tired, especially if you've been running on adrenaline and fumes. And you might not feel any change, and that's okay too. Sometimes people just feel out of it or want to check out, especially if there's a pattern of dissociation. So just noticing whatever's present. And in the next video, I will be showing you how to do like a very basic session on yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thank you so much.